Hello everyone, happy full moon in Gemini. It's also a lunar eclipse or a partial lunar eclipse. November 30th, the last day in November 2020. So for the calendar year, we're wrapping up this calendar end of the year, moving into December. So you guys can see the chart here, and we're going to just cover this for a bit, okay? And then we'll cover the aspects, and I might do the zodiac readings in this video, or I might do it in a separate video, okay? So let's get started. We have the full moon in Gemini, zodiac sign Gemini, air sign, twins. Like the energy can double in this full moon. And this full moon, for me, I feel like it's more of an introspection of ourselves, right? And reviewing the main aspects were really powerful. So with the energy of this year, right, we want to look at it for what it is, this calendar year, right? And then we want to also look at it as, okay, March is coming up, so that's going to be the true start of the year, the lunar calendar. But for the Gregorian calendar, hopefully I'm saying that right, we'll be ending it in December. So what work can we do in the fall, autumn time, and in the winter time to kind of have this kind of rebirth, right? So a lot to shed, a lot to get rid of, a lot to, motivate, uplift us, right? Turn a new page. So we have Gemini with the North Node and the opposite Sagittarius in the South Node. We have this full moon in Gemini, and opposing it, on the opposite side, we have Sagittarius having the sun, as it's the birthday for all Sagittarius. So happy birthday, Sagittarius, in the South Node. So this is a very powerful angle because they've switched houses. So you have Gemini in the 9th house of Sagittarius and Sagittarius in the 3rd house of Gemini. All right. So this aspect is very powerful for motivating Gemini, and also the same for Sagittarius. So when we have this full moon, we want to be mindful of our emotions, especially for the people that are closest to us. We want to make sure that our ego is in check, that our emotions are in check. Always something to be mindful for the full moon. Gemini, being in the 9th house, is going to feel more fiery, not so much of the travel so much. Some of you might feel like you want to know more or travel, but mostly it's a strong energy of inner strength, inner fire, okay? And then for the Sagittarius energy, and this energy is within all of us, and also directly just for Geminis and Sagittarius, but we all are feeling this energy. For Sagittarius, it's having that encouragement, which the air sign can do, okay? And the fire sign is giving that lack of having fear or second thought to Gemini, right? So they're both encouraging each other in what they need. And let's look at this sun in Sagittarius, okay? The sun in Sagittarius, it's very interesting where it will need to master its gifts, right? So this energy, a lot of you will be feeling this need to master your gifts, your talent, your beauty, your inner desires. So this is going to be a powerful time to master that. It's going to be a time of creativity, doing what you feel you're guided to do, and really listen to the guidance that you're receiving and better understand the power that you have in this aspect. And this, especially if you're born in this aspect, with the sun in Sagittarius, as a born Sagittarius, you really have to master your own power and your struggle, your inner struggle within yourself. Even if others see that you're strong and talented, they also notice your struggle within yourself. And I like to say for each sign, not only Geminis, but for all signs, there's a duality there. There's two different types of personalities, right? So you'll meet someone that's one sign, say a Sagittarius, there's a stronger aspect and a more challenge, or weaker, not say weaker, but more challenge aspects of Sagittarius. So it's all about knowing that, yes, you have this creative power, but you also need to listen as a fire sign. So some of us might be experiencing this kind of fight within ourselves, okay? And know that if you're born 0 degrees 0 minutes with your sun sign in Sagittarius, this is very powerful. You can be very attractive because there's some kind of mystery and interest there, but you can also be very complex. So some of you guys, Sagittarius or not, maybe feeling this type of energy at this full moon and this type of introspection. You know, looking at yourself and saying, okay, how can I be better? What do I need to change? How can I empower myself? Now, with that being said, because, you know, I might jump around a bit, but it all comes together. If I don't forget what I'm about to say, having this type of energy about you, it's very powerful, very attractive, but also very complex. So the need to really listen and be guided is a very powerful thing for the centaur to learn, and it's a fire sign issue as well. Okay, so a lot of us might be finding that as well. The sun trining Mars is good. It's a harmony type of aspects, and it gives the person this strength to really see that themselves through, to reach their goal. Okay, you have an objective, you have a goal, you're going to see this through. Another powerful aspect that I'm focusing on for the meditation for this full moon is the Mars sextile Jupiter and Saturn. The Jupiter is about really feeling optimistic, feeling like things can work out, feeling kinder to yourself, kinder to others, really more open to a more positive state of mind. Okay, maybe you have someone encouraging you, maybe you've been encouraging yourself, maybe you're giving up and just letting go of any kind of worry that's outside of yourself that you can't control. Okay, and both of these aspects are really good for meditation at this full moon, especially if you're a Gemini or a Virgo. But if you're strongly ruled by Mercury, you're going to really feel the need to not worry or care about other people's opinion, because you can't really, if you've been feeling like I'm not fully happy, is because you're caring too much about what other people think, and you got to let it go and go back to your original self. And you were more fun that way, and you weren't so worried. And I think with the way that things might have been changing for you the last 7 years, last 10 years, but some of you the last 7 years, it's been like a big change, right? Where you went through something very powerful 7 years ago or 10 years ago, and it really shifted you. Okay, in between that 7 to 10 years, it's just been a big shift, right? So with the Saturn sextile Mercury, this can be very powerful, where you'll feel like you'll need more balance and more practical way of handling your life, handling things. You might feel a sense of enlightenment, saying, okay, I've been doing things this way, maybe I need to change it because I'm missing out on things that I need. But it had to be that way for a while, so that, you know, at this moment now, you're like, okay, this is a great moment. This is the time where I can kind of change things up. And everyone can tap into this change that's needed to be more serious with ourselves, but not so much serious with ourselves, but saying, hey, I can actually change the way I think or the way that I'm doing things. The Venus in opposition of Uranus, this one is really interesting. Okay, I kind of think this had to do with a dream that I had about someone else, but it had to do with relationships, really. So a feeling of losing your own personal freedom in a relationship, right? So this type of aspect is hard to live with someone with this aspect or this way of thinking, because they're not seeing the relationship as living together and having it very peaceful. It's more like I'm losing a part of myself, unstable personalities when it comes to the relationship, and it also is unstable with money. So this Venus opposing Uranus, it's like all this love and affection that should be there has this Uranus energy of not wanting to be trapped, but they're not trapped, but they're just perceiving it this way. So say even though an air sign has great qualities like Aquarius, they might have some issues. If they're Aquarius, they are ruled by Uranus. They will be harder to live with unless they have another aspect that softens them out, right, when it comes to sharing living quarters. So if you are in, I feel like strongly to focus on this, if you are living with someone that's ruled by Uranus, it's for some people, if they have a bigger space, that helps. Sometimes you can't always do that. You have a small space. It's really hard to live with someone that changes their mind, their personality changes, because they're fighting their own inner demons, their own conflicts, and not really working on themselves. So they might have a strong kind of conflicting Uranus energy within them. So that is even more heightened during the lunar eclipse, as in some traditions, they won't practice, say, yoga or any kind of energy work during a lunar eclipse. There's no practicing any kind of cultivating the elements type of meditation or movement, okay, meditation. It's more like just observing the day and maybe doing another type of meditation, more inner work, or no meditation at all. It all depends on how you perceive things. But with this lunar energy, for some people who it feels very strong, it's mainly a mindfulness meditation day or a more self-introspective type of meditation, okay? So another aspect is using the union of a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, right? To be more self-confident in yourself and to maintain a positive and maybe a long-lasting relationship. So what good relationship is in your life right now? This Jupiter is really bringing in this energy towards Saturn that's saying, how can we really connect to and identify great relationships in our lives, and then get rid of or just pay less attention and don't worry about the meaningless relationships in our life. We have more meaningless relationship, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just acquaintances, but we still want to maintain good relationships. But we have to focus on what's really important and what's close to home, which is home and self. So we can flip this. We can really focus on long-lasting, positive relationships and being more self-confident in ourselves and nurturing these positive relationships. Mars squaring Jupiter was these other aspects I wasn't going to really cover, but I found that this was really important, especially for Aries. The Mars squaring Pluto, it's looking, not saying that this is only an Aries issue, or maybe even Scorpio if you're ruled by Mars, or Mars is one of these the planet that you really feel is strong in your chart, right, or in your personality. But the Mars squaring Pluto, it represents maybe a person that has a real loose mouth, that will say things that is really hurtful and it damages relationships, and it's very a judgmental way of viewing someone, right? And just by doing this too much, it can really not build a positive and lasting relationship, right? So this will just lead to more frustration within that person. This is one of the stronger main aspects, right? So this one is at 6 degrees 19 minutes, right? So you can use that in a meditation of, say, like 20 minutes, just focusing on not being so judgmental, not being so easily frustrated with someone. Find out what is triggering that within yourself. Maybe it's an experience that you've had that you did not like, that you have, that you wish you didn't have, but when it comes up, you want to solve it, but instead it's just kind of comes out in a negative way. And then for others, it's just their personality. That's how they are. Two other main aspects that are powerful at this full moon is the Sun conjunction with Pluto. Okay, this can be a great union for people who are Scorpios. You tend to really look deeply into whatever you've experienced, right? And there's a lot of deep thought, a lot of deep introspect for yourself, a self-reflection. So when you're doing this, you can do it through meditation, reading, but you're finding out so much and you're learning from what you've experienced because you have a strong need to survive, right? Especially Scorpio. So then this makes you this wiser older friend that everyone that is lucky to know you is like, yes, you know, this person really gives great advice. And you don't have to be a Scorpio. You can just have this Saturn conjunction to Pluto. And this is really a great aspect to have, as it will make you wiser than most people that you know. This is not like an ego thing, but it gives you that determination to see things through, to make sure that things work out the way that it should. It also gives you a great self-control, because you will have already thought of all the different outcomes, and even knowing the legal side of things, right? This is like a really powerful aspect. So you will be of value to your friends. Now, the Jupiter conjunct Pluto, this one is about revealing the truth, because Pluto is things that's hidden. So Jupiter wants things to really rise above like the hidden surface, right? So this is how I like to think of it. So it wants to reveal all the truths in the situation. At the same time, it wants its power as well, right? But they also will do well at using psychology to really get what they want, no matter what the situation is. So learning how the mind works, how people think, will really benefit you. And even if you don't have this aspect, I feel really strongly to say that you can know of it and know how to apply it. That's a whole other kind of alchemy to astrology, where you can be born any zodiac sign, but train yourself to, if you follow astrology, train yourself to say, okay, I want to incorporate or be more like this, because it'll be better for me, right? So we can kind of tailor ourselves through astrology, right? It's kind of like the old, in a sense, psychology, really, right? So this Jupiter conjuncts Pluto is great at using psychology to obtain their goals, to obtain what they want. But make sure that this energy is balanced and you're not too much into that Pluto energy, where when you get the power, you just want to keep it kind of for yourself or a secret. You want to have this uplifting type of Jupiter energy. So those are the aspects I wanted to focus on, but I want to bring it back now to what aspects that I've mentioned. There's others. I mean, we could be here the whole time, but another great one I want to focus on is Venus trining the MC. Okay, this is great for work, Okay, it's going to bring harmony to your job. It's going to infuse you with passion to be prosperous. This one is a great one because the power will double, okay? And being that it's a full moon in Gemini. So working on your Venus, and when you think about the Venus as beauty, it's attraction, it's getting things in a soft way where it's not forceful, right? But it's a strong attention on your career, on your passion, okay? And this one works great with the sextile of Mercury sextile Jupiter and Saturn. Okay, so that one is like a very beautiful aspect because the sextiles, it's more, you're using it, and the sextile and the trine is all harmony aspects, and you're using it as a tool to help you achieve your goal where you're going. So it's giving more flow, it's helping things to develop, it's giving this like positive energy to your goal for yourself. All right, so let's see how far we are in this. Okay, so that's not that bad. So with this full moon, we want to think about two ways of looking at this. We can look at this in the meditation aspect of being just mindful, and it's both kind of complements each other. Being mindful, looking at your day and just really experiencing your day and not really making a big deal of it, you know, spiritually. Another way is, okay, as I'm doing this chart and whatever videos you watch, you're like, okay, I have that aspect. Let me pause the video. Let me write that down. Okay, do I have this aspect? And I'll put what I've compiled as my notes. I'll put it in this video link and just see, you know, do I have this aspect? Okay, I'm a Gemini. Gemini is in the North Node. So for this full moon also is the North Node energy for not just for Geminis, but for everyone. Okay. Where in this, and I'm going to use this marker right here. This, okay, you can see the mouse. So here's Gemini. So Gemini in the 9th house, Gemini wants to realize their true power, right? If you feel like you've lost your energy, that centaur is like fired up to give that energy to Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign, will give life to the fire in a Sagittarius, right? So even if you're a Gemini, you can tap into that fire sign energy, because your opposite element that works perfect with you will help you to move out of any slums that you're feeling. And with this North Node, it's your life purpose, it's your future, it's where you're going, it's really building you up. And for Sagittarius, it's shedding their karmic attachments, okay? Any kind of negative karmic attachments that you really need to master, you can finally let it go, right? That's what's so powerful about this lunar eclipse, or partial lunar eclipse. Is a strong energy of this like, you know, three alignments, the sun, the moon, and the earth. So really pausing and saying, okay, what's going on here? What am I going to just blast away that's negative? And what am I going to infuse? You know, all these trines, all the trines are really good to focus on. Focusing on the trines, right? Focusing on the sextiles. These are harmony, okay? And the challenges, right, are the oppositions or the squares, right? And then you're going to use these to see where the stress is in the opposition. There's a stress there, okay? The sun and the moon, the self and the emotions. Be mindful of your ego and your emotions, always at a full moon, right? The squares, you're going to see, okay, there's tension there. What's the action? What's the reaction when something squares off? Going back to the opposition, right? What is the stress there? What is the attraction to it? Okay, why is it so passionate, right? And it might be a slow action that is bringing some kind of contrast, some kind of stress there. Okay, and the conjunctions, I like to think of them as like the Fool card in astrology. It's like, okay, I can start over again. How can I build up this degree now? I'm at 0, right? What new cycle do I want to bring? What can I infuse? What actions can I take? What energies can I fuse together to create something new, a new union? What I like to think of the zeros as what do I want to bind myself to that's for my greater good, right? What do I want to connect to that's best for me? So I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll make another video. But this is the energy that we're dealing with right now, and it doubles. So I'm saying focus on Jupiter is about your luck, your prosperity, right? Focus on that. The positive aspects of Saturn is asking you to, hey, this is the time to do that thing that you might not want to do because you thought, oh, it's not the right time, or all these doubts. Get rid of them, right? That sextile of Mercury and Saturn is saying you've reached this part of enlightenment where you're like, okay, I see the problem, I know the solution, let's do it. And sometimes you have to be forceful. Like, say if you are more reserved, you experience, I know for me, like the last couple of days where I had to be persistent, and I had to just put my foot down, like, that's it. Like, you have what you need, let's get this done right and now. And you have to be, persistent, the squeaky wheel. You have to just know, and when you know that you're correct about something, you have to get it done, right? So knowing that you have this energy within you and this energy to work with this full moon to really go after what you need to go after and what you don't need anymore. And a lot of this energy on the chart, it's all about that personal introspection, right? So really looking at yourself, looking within yourself, right? It's a lot of home and family and self-work that needs to be done, right? It's from like the 9th house all the way over to the 2nd house. So it's really what isn't seen, right? That's what needs to be worked on. So I'll come back and do the 12 signs in the next video. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy this astrology reading for this full moon in Gemini, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.